It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for... Hey everyone, JWR here, and today we're going over role player reviewing. Yeah, might need to fix the title. Oh well, first character? Hey, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over Laser's front page, and then we're going to go over the information, the About You stuff. Now, I'm not going to go into detail. Initially, when I made the list of what I was going to do with everybody, I decided I was going to be really digging into this. But I realized some abilities, some people are going to see as god modding no matter what I do. So I'd rather them address it to me straightforward and we can discuss it. Now, when I go over other characters, I'm going to point out the exact ability and I'm going to have it come up on the screen. It's just the ability name, and then it's just going to go so you see exactly what I'm looking at. Because I understand a screenshot doesn't always work. I will have a screenshot up there. It's going to be up there. It's going to be, and it's going to give you a couple seconds to look at it, and then I'm going to highlight one that looks like god modding. Now, some people will have these, and some people will not have these, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. All we're looking for right now, front page and the About You. Making sure shit's filled out, at least having some sort of data on there. Not just male, born this year. That's it. Okay, how tall are you? Do you have a height? Do you have a weight? Do you have hair? Does the hair have any color? What about your eyes? Stuff that people can easily see. Now, I'll show you later on Ryu about the blood type and stuff like that, where you're kind of sitting there going, can I put that on it? Should I put that on there? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But let's just start with the beginning and go from there. So we're starting on Laser, we're going to bring up the front page, and then we're going to bring up the About You. Boom, boom. This should be about 12 seconds total worth of looking at just PowerPoint. But, like I said, when I do this for other people, it's going to be a little bit more visceral. Ew. Okay, we looked at the three pictures here. Boom, boom, boom. The first one was, of course, the front page. Just, again, once you click the button and the first thing it shows for the profile is, boom, the front page. You notice his pictures weren't him going, I got tattoos, or I got glasses, or I'm a sexy boy. No, it's like looking in a direction or being posed for a photo. Simple. This is the first thing I wanted to point out because a lot of people will sit there and they'll have, especially, I don't know why, it's especially girls, they'll have character pictures of, oh, look at my tatas, look at my ass, and look, I'm give myself a camel toe. And then they wonder why people come after their character for sex. Yeah, again, it goes with character translation. If you have 75 out of 100 pictures of showing off tits, ass, and vag, guess what people are going to assume? Alright, the next thing you would notice was the fact that the About You section is actually filled out. Filled out to a point of someone who has glance information or cursory information. They don't have full detail. Now, there's access to more detail. There's access I put on there, as you saw from the other two slides. There's links, and then there's just more links. Links brought up abilities, powers, race, definitions, general information that, and all this could be looked up in that universe. They could be looked up easy. Why? Because the company Laser tends to run is also an asinine group that puts information out there. Privacy Act. What's that? But it's done that way for a reason. Now, I did that for this character But we're also going to take a moment to take a step back, and we're going to take a look at the two main pictures the two main site of pictures that a cursory glance. Again, this is just a quick look through. This is just a quick look through. I know that Laser has abilities. I know he has access to abilities. I know if I wanted to do a full rating scale, I would hit those up. Wow, that just popped out of nowhere. Sorry about that. I would hit those up and find out what the skills are. Now, on other characters, I am going to break the skills down a little bit more. Laser skills, I'm not going to really break down because it's not exactly fair for me to sit there and go, oh yeah, that skill isn't god modding, that skill isn't god modding, that skill isn't god modding. Because people are going to sit there and look at it and go, you self-righteous son of a bitch. And yeah, that's what we're stuck with. So I'm not going to do that. People can look at the skills later and say, yes it is or no it isn't, and I can defend or point out why it is or isn't. I tend to agree with people half the time if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, then I look at you like you're an idiot. Fortunately, as text roleplay goes, I can look at you like an idiot all day long. But let's take a look at what pictures have been tagged for Laser, and then what pictures Laser has accessible as albums. Okay, so this year, it would seem so far that there aren't a lot of pictures tagged, but the tagged pictures are very sporadic. One's about a woman, one has the Tails doll. You get the idea. It doesn't have anything centralized, so you can't really tell what his general theme is. With that being said, we went over to the album list, and you saw the albums are a little bit more character-centric. Makes sense. So, with all this information out there, what do you suppose would be the type of roleplay style? Well, in the About You section, most people have their rules, which is fine. You have the rules and that's good. Some people have the type of roleplay style they have. Now, since I tend to vary between the person I'm role-playing with, I don't have a rule set up there. I don't usually do crack roleplay. That's not set on there, but as you can tell when you look at the screen, Laser tends to vary with whoever he's dealing with. If the person has pages of shit, then Laser has pages of shit. If they have a line, then Laser comes up with a line. Again, it comes with the use of force, which was another rant I've already gone on about, so what's the point of repeating that? But we saw a difference between the pictures. Some people get tagged like 1,800 pictures of them like giving stuff or sex acts or getting discombobulated or some weird shit. But people see that. People look at these things and they take the character translation and they gather it together, and they're using all this information to make a definitive stance on your character. But Double R, that doesn't apply to canon characters, because canon characters are awesome because they're already out there, and that takes good imagination to twist someone else's ideas and make them into an abridged version of your own. Yeah. We'll deal with that at the end of all this. On to Ryu Hayabusa, the badass super ninja of Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden, whatever. I took on Ryu only because, well, I was flipping a coin between him and Batman at the time. Now, my version of Batman that's been roleplayed is very violent. Of course, some people get upset about that, and, well, yeah, locked. My version of Ryu is demi-violent, but he has a high respect for the dead. You can tell by the pictures on his main page. It's a very active, action-styled version of Ryu, which of course makes a lot of sense. Again, because it's me who's role-playing, the RP style kind of varies. Again, depends on who I'm working with. If they give me a lot to work with, I give them a lot to work with back. If they don't give me anything, then... But with that being said, we go on to the About You section, and again, we're just going to skim through it. If you really want to look it up, I purposely give the way I spell it, just because I feel that if you want to look to see if it's legitimate, then go ahead and look. That's how I see it. That's how I feel about it. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the About You section, then we'll move on to the pictures after that. Okay, I'm going to stop after this first one, because for some of you who have good eyes and you kind of skimmed the About You section, you notice that I literally took the Wikipedia thing, or the DOA battle frame, or whatever the fuck it was I got it from, cut that, pasted it on the About You. And I know some of you are looking at that going, didn't you just say it should be something you can see from the get-go, not the blood type, not the fucking... whatever? Like the blood type, the favorite food, things of that nature. You shouldn't see all that. And yet, I put it on there for Ryu. Why? Because that's what most canon characters do. They take all the information that people should know about the character, and they throw it right up there. What is wrong with that picture? I'll give you a moment to think about that. Technically, and I underline the word technically, there should be nothing wrong doing that. However, due to issue 3, and due to people metagame and cross-knowledge, all that bullshit, metagame knowledge and cross-roleplay, since they do that a lot, they're going to come back and tell me, straightforward, oh, I know Ryu's Hayabusa's blood type is AB. I know that for a fact. You're Wolverine. Yeah, your point, bub. How would you know that? How would you know my blood type is AB? Did you smell AB? Does AB actually smell different than O? No. Then how do you know? Well, it says in your About You thing. Stop. Stop with the metagame shit. Stop cross-rolling. Stop with the metagame. Just stop. Stop. You're not Deadpool. Stop. 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 Wow, wasn't that one short? List of family. Nothing but one. But you'll notice the other side has a bunch of writing. Those are rules. Those are examples of rules, I should say. That's pretty much what people do to get the idea across. This isn't the main way I do things. This is what I allow. This is what I don't allow. Boom, boom, boom. Very much straightforward. This is to cover their ass, pretty much. If something happens and they're like, no, that's not what I prefer, they can always go back to it and go, see, it says right there. I told you. Because of this, a lot of people tend to lose their focus, and they either don't do that at all, or they put on rules that make no damn sense, like we brought up earlier about Todd. Not on this one, on a video way back. Todd, who was, I refuse to fight 2 or more people. What? If you roleplay with me, you accept the fact that my character is God. What? You can never hurt me, but I can hurt you. What? Just things like that where you sit there and you look at the rules and go, who would agree to this and why? I think Big Bang Theory brought it up pretty good. Sheldon rewrote the roommate agreement, and of course Thorne's like, why the fuck would I sign it? Why would I sign this? You just said plain as day. You rewrote the roommate agreement to where it mostly benefits you, and yet you want me to sign this. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I put myself in that situation? Never underestimate the power of stupidity of the world. I underline this because of Harlem Shake. I underline this because YOLO. I underline this because of so many different things. I would love to continue that, but I can look at this guy's profile and see all these people who love to roleplay with him, even with the fact of knowing that if they get into an argument, they lose. Period. They lose. It says plain as day. You argue with me, you lose. 1 + 1 equals Bunsen burner. No, it doesn't. It equals 2. No, you lose. Bunsen burner. You role playing with me, you lose. But then again, that's how some people are. They want to be treated like trash. I don't know why. I just, it blows my mind. But again, that doesn't really matter when gathering scores. It's just something that I've noticed, and it's something that few people have noticed, that some people just don't follow the rules. They literally put down a bunch of rules almost for the whole sake of, I have them up there, fuck you. That's literally what it comes out to. No matter what you do, fuck you. I win, fuck you. I win. I mean, literally, that's pretty much how the rules come out. With that being said, let's move on to pitches. Let's try this again. Apparently he's not tagged in a lot. He's actually being a ninja. Alright, this is an interesting setup. You see, 2 of them firmly apply to Ryu, and 1 of them seems completely out of it. That's the point I'm trying to make here. This is what some people do with their albums, and how they tag themselves in many pictures, or how their friends tag them. You can go out there and have millions of things that show that you are awesome. But there's always going to be a couple pictures that come up and people are like, what? This is because people don't pay attention. Now, I underlined this again because when I stated character translation, and this is what people see, a lot of people screw that up really, really bad. And I do mean really, really bad. So how bad is it? When you look at the pictures, you see there's 2 albums that are solely for Ryu, and then there's 1 album that seems off-settled. This kind of tells you that somewhere in his backstory, something should explain that. Fortunately, there is, but at the same time, a lot of people won't look into it. They'll just see the pictures and be like, eh. And this is what I want people to understand when I go through and do the reviews on the characters, mainly. I'm going to point out these things, and I'm going to point out a lot deeper intact. Like I said, for mine, after reviewing, I found it wasn't fair for me to go over skills because I may not see it as a god mod, but someone else would under their beliefs, under their logic. So I can't really sit there and go, no. I can, however, like I said, I offered the location of the character pretty easy. With that said, for Ryu, you'll notice that this Ryu really respects more of the dead, but he's a high combat person. Now, I'm going to look and try to find how can I say this? I'm going to try to find another Ryu to do a review on, and I'm going to clear out like the first name and the fancy spellings if I can. I'm going to clear that out so you can see the difference between one Ryu, which is combat oriented, versus the other Ryu, which is like sex oriented. So with that in mind and with that thought out, this is the basic information I'm going after. I'm not sitting there going to look over every freaking roleplay you've had. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and get every detail. I'm going to look for certain things and easy access to said detail. If I can gain access to your character information, okay, I'll put it up there. If I cannot gain access to character information, I'm going to point out, this is what I got. This is what other people are going to see. There's nothing there. And I'm going to compare it. Some people are going to look like frickin' god modders out the wazoo. You can't touch me, I'm death. Then you shouldn't be in a combat situation. You're death. You're a situational thing. You are on a sitcom. You should be on Charmed or something. You're death from Charmed. You show up and shit's supposed to happen. Oh no, I'm a fighter. No. Null and void. No, you can get around it. No, null and void. Null and void. Null and void. That's like, you touch me, you die. I'm going to go into wrestling. What are they going to do? Hadouken? No, they don't have that option. They don't have that option. They don't have Hadouken, they don't have Kamehameha, they don't have Gallic Gun. No, they have physical attacks. Yeah, if you're going to instantly kill everything that touches you, and you're going into wrestling, yeah, that's kind of god modding, isn't it? That's kind of like not even remotely close to fair. But I will leave you all with that. So have yourselves a good day. Now you're doing basics. I don't even have a watch on. You might want to go and do some cleaning up, because when I go searching, I go a-searching. Now for something that's really bothering me. Well, not really bothering me. It just annoys me greatly. Even in the roleplay community, there happens to be two differing groups, I would say. Now, on one side, I brought up before, there's your anime geeks versus your comic geeks. They clash. Movie geeks versus the original source material geeks. Things of that nature. But then there's this big one that's been out there for a while. And I kind of let it slide from time to time because I've addressed it through the issues 1, 2, and 3. And I don't think some people are getting it. It's just bing. So let me break this down in simple layman's terms. Okay? Let's try it this way. If you have a canon character, if you're role-playing a canon fucking character, that means I could put in the name and get, oh, who knows how many... In fact, let's just find out real quick. If you're playing a canon character, and says search for people, I put in, say, Kasumi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 role players for that, just that name, Kasumi. And of course, naturally, it goes to the most popular Kasumi, which is the Nerd Alive version. This is not searching for, say, Kasumi Tendo. This is not, say, the character from that other ninja game. No, not Dead or Alive, there's another ninja game. It's kind of like Samurai Showdown, but not quite Samurai Showdown. It's like a knockoff of Samurai Showdown. I digress. The point is, if you're a canon character, and there's like already tens, hundreds of y'all, where do you get off going after other people who have original character concepts? Not just me. I don't deal with that shit, fortunately. But there's other people who have brought it up, and it's, I'm using a canon character, and my creativity is awesome. Your creativity is awesome because you cannot create your own character. This is not a figures. One time I need my freaking gun, I can get it remote. A bigger one. I digress. The fact of the matter remains that some people can't roleplay with original characters because they don't read. Like I said, I've dealt with this through the issues already, but I'm going to be more direct. Now, because of our friend in issue 2, people cannot read, this brings up issue 3. The metagame and crossing issue. Now I know what you're thinking, I thought you meant that, like, taking out of game knowledge and applying it in game and all that shit. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. You see, people who have certain characters, even people who have original characters, they don't go and talk to other people with original characters. They go after the canon characters. They go after the people they know. Why? Because, quote, this is a common quote now, we just don't know how to deal with your original character. Because there's no movie, there's no book, there's no video game about said characters, you don't know how to deal with them because you are too lazy to go out there and read the notes that they have. Now I understand, in some cases the original character does not have any notes to go and read. I understand, I see that, I fucking see that. I get that. I do. I really understand that if they do not have the notes for you to read, or if they do not have any type of information or literature for you to read, or if they don't have any capability of giving you the information for you to use, then yes, I understand that you do not have any idea. Not like it should fucking matter anyway because of issue fucking 3, but that's beside the point. Issue 3 states that you should not have to worry about the difference between this and that. You should worry about what your character sees only. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I don't quite get it. Well, let me walk you along. In character, you are the Voltage Mountain Dew. You are the blue badass of lightning. You are shooting shit because you can. Out of character, you are Dr. Pepper. You actually have a PhD in psychology. Now, I got my boy. Now, the fact of the matter remains is this. They would take this information as Mountain Dew. Now remember, this is the player, Dr. Pepper, okay? This is the player. As Mountain Dew, he would go up to Kasumi. Like, hey, I know you from the Dead or Alive circuits and yada yada and blah blah blah, and he would just go out reciting her history to her. Now, that's all fine and good and dandy, because apparently he's done research. No, he hasn't. This motherfucker did research, not him. So, with that being said, people are going, well, that's not issue 3. That is fucking issue 3. If I took Laser and I chased down people, let me rephrase this, because some people sit there and go, well, you did deal with the Kasumi, and you did deal with the Vega, and you did deal with the Blanca, and you did deal with a Bison, and you did. Yes, but Laser never brought it as that information. He did not know Bison was Bison of Shadow Lord. He didn't know that. All he knew was Bison was there. Someone said, oh, Peter, when they were referring to Spider-Man. Laser's not an idiot. You call him Peter, and he answers. That's Peter. Now, I say all this because people cannot apply that. Like, that Spider-Man didn't know how to deal with Laser. He's like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he still acted like Spider-Man, thank goodness. But he didn't know how to actually approach Laser because, guess what? There is no major big-time publication or video game or movie dealing with said character. So, he didn't know how to actually react to him. So he did what a good role player does, and he went by default canon logic. What Spider-Man's definite logic is, well, you're an ally of a friend of mine, so I'm still going to be a smartass. Because I don't know what you can do. I don't know where you're going to go with this. I'm still going to be a smartass. With all that pointed out, said, and done, you have to look back on what information out of character applies to in character. Now, Mountain Dew here, Mr. Blue Lock Mountain Dew, has never met a Kasumi. It's never met an Ayane. It's never met Boba Fett. And yet, for some reason, this motherfucker knows about the Force. This motherfucker knows that Boba Fett's father was killed. This motherfucker, who wasn't even born around the time of Boba Fett, knows all Boba Fett's history before Boba Fett even knew what was coming to him. How does that work? It shouldn't work. There should be no logical way that would work. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Nada. There should be no logical way that works. Thus, we have the major problem of issue 3. In this case, it's metagame knowledge. It's not crossing, it's metagame. In this case, it's metagame. Now, I'm sure some of you have things to say, and y'all can put that down in the comments and all of that. Come here, buddy. So. There's the total opposite of how I'm feeling about the whole issue. The total opposite. The 180. Okay. I'll let you go. Go play. Hey. So, with all this said and done, with all these things put into a fact, brought out into the light, do you think people are still going to sit there and roleplay, I need a name. Oh. You still think they're going to play Freddy Krueger and hit on Juliet Sterling and end up trying to date her? Yeah. Will Freddy know that Juliet's a zombie hunter outright? Yeah. Why? Because of issue fucking 3. People can't keep that apart. Now, I'm not saying it's all Freddy players that do it. I'm not saying it's all Juliets that do it. I'm not saying it's all Kasumis that do it. It's just people in general. If you have a canon character, most people who grab a canon character avoid original characters because they don't know how to approach them. They don't do the research. They don't bother doing the research because it's not a TV show. It's not a cartoon. It's not an anime. It's not a book. It's not a movie. They don't have the instant boom. Here, let me watch it on YouTube. Oh, I know everything I need to know about Batman. Yeah. It's not that. Which brings up a funny little point, and I want to point this out because it does throw some people off. There are underground hits and underground favorites that aren't as popular on, say, Google, YouTube, or anything like that. Take, for instance, Project A-Go. That was an underground anime hit that people liked because it's kind of like the airplane movies, but for anime. Well, I don't understand the jokes. I don't understand them. Yeah, and if you take Airplane over to Japan and show it, the Japanese like, really, you fucking American stupid. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at Oriental accents. I'm not. In fact, I was over in Japan and tried it once. They wanted to kick my ass. Go figure. Then again, I was in England and tried an English accent. They wanted to kick my ass. I should probably just stop using accents. Moving along. The point of the matter of this whole rant is that if you're a canon character, you're not better than the people who made original characters. So don't go around saying, oh, we have better creativity. You have better creativity because you took something that someone already has and walked it elsewhere. I'll give you this. You're good at a bridge. Now, before people get all mad and go, give me the pitchforks and the flamethrowers and kill this motherfucking double R. Kill him! Before you get all into that, I will give you guys this. The canon characters do seem to have a better grasp on other storylines besides just rape, murder, and mayhem. They got a better grasp on other storylines besides just those 3. I will give them that. That is a plus. The minus is they can't come up with any other original characters. They just someone come and punch them in the face. It's like, oh, I can't think. It's one of those kind of things. They got better storylines, but their ability to create original characters goes down into the toilets. Meanwhile, people who have original characters seem to have all their creativity up in the character and nothing in the story. I know some of you are saying, hey, wait a minute, you have a canon character. Oh, wait, and you have an original character. What the fuck do we do with you? That's a good question. I wrote a book, so I have some level of storyline understanding. I wrote notes that bounce around, so I have some level of understanding on storylines. I made a whole cast of characters, so I have some idea on how to make characters. I've also roleplayed as a cast of canon characters. Yeah, I'm really a fucking pain in the ass to centralize on. Huh. Fuck you. That's my answer. That's where I'm like, fuck you. I kid. But seriously, I work on things, and I try to help people work on other items as well. I have no problem with that. My problem is those with the canon characters seem to think they're all high and mighty because they can think of storylines, but they can't think of characters themselves. Meanwhile, the original characters are just having the same stick up their ass. We can make our characters from scratch. What do? Make storylines? How pathetically insane and insignificant that is. Because we created entire universes. Motherfucker, we can control that universe and make storylines that actually make y'all look like good fucking gods. Not just some pissant Mary Sue. Ha! What? What'd you call me? And then you get a whole big fight on that. Ugh. I digress. Again. My whole point is this. In a nutshell. Canon characters get to stick out your ass. Just because you can write better storylines doesn't mean you're more creative. It means you have a different view on the same creativity as the original characters who have their creativity elsewhere. That's it. Focus on that. How about everyone learn to roleplay together? We don't know how to approach their character. Well, how about you look and find some notes? I'm sure most original characters have notes about the character's personality. They have notes on something that happened in their character's history where you can look at, read a little bit. I mean, y'all like writing storylines? Read a little bit. I know it's not a cartoon or an anime that's right there flashing in front of you doing this kind of bullshit with a Kamehameha for 5 or 6 episodes. I understand that. I do get that. I understand that it's not exactly a ready media that you can access. But for fuck's sake, just try it and help. And create an original character, motherfuckers, chill the fuck out. They come up with better storylines than you guys do 90% of the time. It's mind-boggling. Hell, if I didn't see it myself, I would have been like, eh. Most of the time, they come up with fan sites, they work on fan fiction, and they collaborate with each other to make better storylines. Meanwhile, the original characters don't. You guys don't do that. You don't. You really don't. So, each side has their pluses and minuses. So shut the fuck up, saying who's better, lay down the fucking line, do the fucking rock bottom or some fucking shit, and just get together and actually work together for once in your fucking lives. It's not like the role players have enough shit to worry about on every corner of the world anyway. Jeez. I'm just gonna stop there because the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm getting pissed off. So, I'll see y'all later. Have yourselves a good time. And if you have an issue with what I said, fuck you. I have an issue. I mean, everyone has an asshole, so everyone has an opinion. Fuck you. A joke. Kinda. Later, everybody.